Hi, my name is Maura Matheny. I'm a baking and pastry faculty at Johnson & Wales University, and this is my representation as a Lense UDL solution story, part 4. My target course is BPA 4710, Advanced Pastry and Senior Buffet Capstone. This is the capstone for the baking and pastry bachelor's degree. Through representation as a lens, I was able to identify things that already met the criteria and were serving my students well. Content that is supporting checkpoint 1.3 and 2.5, offering alternative visual information and illustrating through multimedia, was me offering videos of a respected colleague doing demonstrations of items that I demo in class. I feel this offers them alternative ways to view the subject, access to this information outside of class, and as an alternative to the written method of prep instructions in their formula books. Another supportive item existing in my class would be the formula booklets that I give them from all of their previous labs, starting from their foundational lab freshman year, all the way through their sophomore year labs, junior labs, and even the previous senior lab they took before the capstone. These, I feel, activate their prior knowledge. It also gives them a context with their learning and shows how the learning is scaffolded from their original recipes, how they're modified to be more advanced and more in-depth currently. It will highlight a pattern for them in having a basic custard to now an advanced application in the capstone. There are a few different points in this class that support 3.4, that maximize transfer aspect of representation. These students are taking foundational skills, and not only are they breaking them down, understanding the scientific function of the ingredients within the desserts, they are manipulating them and creating new desserts from these general principles. So that deep content understanding of how the ingredients function and what they can and can't substitute to create these new recipes shows a whole world of understanding in how these things work. The teach back aspect also shows comprehension in that they're designing and rewriting the methods of preparation for other people to use. So I feel the course overall really captures that 3.4 representation aspect. Now, putting on those really heavy representation glasses, I noticed a lot of flaws in my class that I did not see before. And it was very, very clear once I started reading the criteria that I have some things I can work on. Overall, I discovered 3 major flaws in my class through a representational lens that I would like to focus on. Something as simple as adding a voiceover onto my PowerPoints. Even though I personally don't like listening to myself talk on PowerPoints, I feel would be a huge benefit to a lot of my students for a couple different reasons. I feel it would help those students who are traveling to a sporting event, who are commuting long commutes from home to school, who have a lot of other things going on. Maybe they're cleaning, maybe they're doing laundry. They can listen to the PowerPoints and be able to maximize their time balance and usage better. I also think it helps students that maybe have a hard time reading something and absorbing them. Maybe they're stressed out. Maybe they have a lot going on. Something about the reading and listening really, really helps. I know it helps me a lot. So I want to be able to offer that to my students as well. Another tool I think would be extremely beneficial to my students would be a facts page that can be in the formula booklet. I naturally use a lot of terms from the industry that I forget are not common knowledge from time to time. So those students who would be served by something like this would be ones that maybe are too shy to speak up and admit they don't know what that means, when I'm sure they're not the only ones in the class. So having something they can safely access and fill that gap in their knowledge, I think would be a great thing. The last area of improvement, and trust me, there were more that I found, but the last one I felt was significant enough to address in this presentation was all of the individual recipes that become then the finished product. So there could be 6 or 7 components to one final dessert. I have plenty of pictorial representations of the finished product. The cross section is labeled, it's colored, it's very beautiful, actual pictures from buffets. What I don't have is the pictures of the individual components themselves. And when students don't understand what color something should be when it's finished fully baking, or maybe what a cream should look like, or how high something is, really, are they interpreting those method of preparations that are written in their formula book correctly? I get spread kind of thin because I'm the only one there that they can access and ask these questions to. By providing a little more pictorial representation in those tiny formulas that compile the main dessert, I feel like the students could guide themselves better, maybe self-assess a little better, and it could answer a lot of those questions I get pulled aside to answer and help me focus more on larger concepts. So of course, I chose to focus on all three. I'm going to do a voiceover on the PowerPoint. I'm going to create a fact sheet. I am going to add all the pictures in the formula book in this semester coming when my students make all of these things perfectly. I was reminded of how many things I have already committed to this semester. And as it turns out, for my sanity and my department chair sanity, I'm going to focus on one. So I'm going to focus on the voiceover on my PowerPoints because I can get that done before this half is over and before my senior class starts after spring break. Here is my very achievable, responsible, and focused to-do list to incorporate checkpoints 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 into my current target course. Thank you for your time and attention, and I look forward to your feedback on the changes for my target course using the representational lens.